Hey, who'd you talk to? What's going on? It's Mike Lepre. Or it is it is the Kingmike. It's Thursday night. It's fantasy football time. And let me tell you something, I'm extra happy. Why, you ask? Why? Because your New York football Giants are killing it right now. Killing it. And speaking of killing it, Brother Ray, how are we tonight? I'm sorry, I'm yelling.
Doing
How
well,
are you doing?
man. Doing well. New mic is working great. Can definitely hear you nice and crystal clear.
Oh, I can lower me. You want me to lower myself?
No, it's good. It's all good.
All right. I tell you what, I am excited about the G-Men. I mean, Joe Judge is not to be messed with.
Yeah, they've done a good job so far, I think, addressing what their core needs were. I think getting Jackson was really good. I'm surprised he was out there in this phase of free agency. Again, highly regarded coming out. So, I think it was a great move.
Ray, speaking of highly regarded, Mastradamus, how are we tonight?
I'm a little worried, A lot going on in the world. It's been a struggle, but I'm doing well. How are you doing, King?
I'm doing great. Did you see I respelled your name on the site?
I wouldn't go. I refused until I heard the good news, and I will be back now.
I fixed it. I respelled it.
Can't have any imposters or lookalikes.
No,
This is true.
there's only one. It can be only one.
It can be
Trust
only
me,
one.
there ain't no
One
one
Highlander. Hey, so check this out really quick. I found this. I was actually out at Target today myself, and this is legit. I wasn't like fighting anybody, or wrestling over anything. Nothing like that. I mean, I wasn't like,
I
kicking it.
almost lost my life, man. You want to joke about it?
Look at this game I found. It's a wrestling card game called Royal Rumble.
Wow.
I think it's similar, not the same, obviously, but to the game that I created when I was a kid. I can't wait to figure this out now.
By the
Oh,
way, I
really?
wanted to say, incredible T-shirt. I noticed it.
Oh, thank you, by the way.
I
Look at this. Ultimate Warrior taking on Macho Man, and then
Macho
on the
Man.
bottom there's the Big Boss Man. But check out on the in front of this. Look at the guys. You got Booker T, Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man, Razor Ramon, and Ric Flair. Dude, that's a 5-pack any day of the week. You know what I'm saying?
I got a really good story about Razor Ramon that we should share. I don't know if now there's time.
Well, let's hold off for 1 second. What we want to talk about is just really quickly with pro football. I believe free agency to be over. I think it's over right now. I think that teams are settling in. They're trying to find some late gems, right? But basically, they're getting ready for the draft. Like Micah Parsons had his day today. There's been, some days set up. I think, though, we should start off with free agency. Who we thought did well, who we thought did nothing, and who we just, wish we did more. Almost like grades, but not really. So, Brother Ray, if I said to you, and other than the Giants, we already know, but if I said to you, who did really well in free agency so far?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've talked about this before. I think the Redskins did really well. I think the Patriots actually did really well. I know a lot of Patriot fans may not be completely happy, and signing Cam Newton, I don't think they were entirely enthusiastic about that. But I think he did the right thing. I think you need to have a bridge quarterback. You need to have someone there that knows the system. It's going to be a second year in the system, so give the guy a break. I think they address their needs, and that's what free agency really is about. It should be more about addressing needs. When you go out and spend too much money and you sign these ridiculous contracts, on players, that usually don't pan out. And that's what usually happens. You spend all that money and it doesn't usually pan out. But I think the Patriots, I think the Giants, I think the Redskins, I think they did a good job of addressing needs and finding people that fit. That's the most important thing. It's really not even about getting the best player. It's about getting the right fit.
Well, all right. So throwing it to Matt, there's two things that I wanted to talk about on that. One, your team has to catch a perfect storm sometimes where, like, You know what I mean? You get the right guys just somehow by mistake or whatever. And you know what I mean? Like you just get that surprise signing and you make sure you sign some like older guys to kind of be mentors. But Matt, in your opinion, which team set itself up? Now I know they're all setting themselves up for it, but which team stood out to you about how they prepared themselves for the draft? Meaning they filled holes, but you could tell now they show their hand. Like you can kind of tell now this is what they're going to go for.
Well, before we get to that, and I do like that question, I want to say the Tampa Bay Bucks did very well in free agency. They brought everybody back. I like that.
Yeah. Yep.
Set themselves up nicely. And you know what? It's crazy to say this, but now everything's starting. As we get closer to the draft, it's starting to become clear. I don't think the Jets are going to be selecting a quarterback at 2. I think that they're going to either drop back or they're going to select. Maybe you might even see Pitts at number 2. I think Pitts might go to number 2. I don't think it's going to be a wideout. I think that they could set themselves up very nicely. Who knows? It could be Sewell, but I think they maybe drop back, get a few picks, and maybe pick somebody at 7, 8, 9. We'll see.
Yeah. So Ray, as far
by the way, I'm jumping on board because King's been saying that for about 8,000 years. So yes.
saying what? What have I been saying?
Yes, they're should at least absolutely stick with Sam Darnold.
No doubt.
Ray, are you in agreement that that's what they're going to do? Because I mean, if they do that the right way, they could actually finally start to form a nucleus of players that you have to win.
Yeah,
Right.
and what I like about it is the coach wanted to keep Darnold. It's the GM that was looking to potentially ship him. So the good news is the coach is winning out on this. And I think he should because he's the new guy in there and you went out and got him. Douglas, in my opinion, I do not have a high regard for him at all. So I'm glad the coach is winning out on this. And that is the right call. They had a perfect spot at the 2 position to trade out of there and get, a booty of draft picks. They're going to be stocked, locked and loaded. And that's the move you make over there because at number 2, unless you're going to take a quarterback, there really isn't that impact player. Although I'll tell you what, after Micah's workout today, he's going to be moving up that list. But they need to trade out at 2, like Mastradamus said, and just accumulate those assets.
You know what? Quite honestly, if they do not take a quarterback at 2, there is not anybody that's worth that pick, it seems, especially based on the fact that this year we don't know as much as we would usually know about these players, right? I mean, we do, but we don't like we used to know. So it's like no one wants to like really officially say this guy's a lock, complete lock, and push him up the draft to say he's worth that pick to trade up to. If it's not a quarterback, no one's moving. There's not a left tackle strong enough to make you want to move up. There's really not a defensive end that makes you, an edge rusher that makes you want to move up. The basic big ones, even cornerback. Surtain and Caleb Farley, do they make you really want to jump up? You would never jump up to 2. So, I mean, I'm starting to rhyme, but what are the Jets to do? Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
trade down. They should take, if you're going to commit to Darnold, do the guy a solid and beef up that offensive line. The guy's been getting killed the last couple of years. Sewell, Slater. Those are 2 blue chip guys right now. I don't think they're worth 2 right now, but you can trade down and get one of those guys later and accumulate all those picks.
Yeah, I think that's what I would do. I really think that's what I would do. But who's going to jump in their spot, Matt? Who's going to take number 2 from them?
I'm hearing San Francisco, but it could be a number of teams. It's really going to be who's going to ante up. Like there's going to be a lot of picks that are going to take to even move up just a few picks. That's why I continue to say. Do I think the Patriots would be in on a quarterback? Absolutely, but it's against Bill's philosophy to be, and I think he could do it this year, but he usually likes to trade back. He usually likes to accumulate picks, but he's already got that. He's got the draft capital to move around, so that makes sense to be able to do it. I just don't know if he's going to throw another first round pick just to move up to 7, 8, 9 to get the third, fourth, fifth best option at QB. I think he's probably drooling over Mac Jones, like Brother Ray's been saying for Lord knows how long. But I don't think he's going to be there. Justin Fields has been flying up the boards, and I think Mac Jones is too. And I actually am going to start to think that Brother Ray is right. You might see 5 QBs going in the first 10 picks.
So I agree with you, but here's where I'm starting to think, and maybe I'm getting crazy because I am, but I don't think the Jaguars are a lock to keep that pick. How about that?
Oh, you're out of your mind.
Listen to me. If they find a quarterback even remotely in that area of Trevor Lawrence, right?
Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence.
Wait, hear me out. If they find any of those quarterbacks that are left to be even close to his level of talent, what they would get back for that pick would form a whole team.
Trevor Lawrence
and his long hair can't carry a whole team out of misery, but 4 or 5 players can.
Urban Meyer would be attached to whoever they drop back to, and they would sync together. You got to go with Trevor Lawrence.
So there's not another quarterback you like, is what you're saying.
I like a lot of QBs, but Trevor Lawrence is far superior than the rest of them.
But wait, hear me out. Is there another QB you like, Ray?
Well, it's not about who I like. It's about who Urban Meyer may like. We forget that he had Fields.
Yes.
Fields is his player.
Yes.
So Urban Meyer knows better than anybody what Fields is made of.
Yep.
And I'm going to guarantee you the Patriots already have a detailed scouting report on Fields because Belichick and Urban Meyer are best friends. Him and just like Saban, they're best of friends. Now, if he covets Fields, he could very well do that. I don't think Fields is better than Lawrence. I don't think he's
hearing Fields is that too for San Francisco. That's what I'm hearing. San Fran moves up to 2 and gets Justin Fields. And then
but let me take the Patriots. Everyone keeps saying Bill doesn't do that. Bill doesn't do that. He never does that. 2 things to keep in mind. Nick Caserio, the GM, gone. He's been there for all these years. Maybe he's been a little bit of the reason why they haven't spent all that money. He's gone, and Bill's spending money like a drunk sailor. The other thing is when he's putting game plans together, Belichick, he likes to quote Sun Tzu all the time. Okay. And one of Sun Tzu's big tenets is chaos, controlled chaos, keep them guessing, don't be predictable. I could very well see Bill trading up this year because no one thinks he's going to do it.
Yep. Why not?
It's just a matter of how much it's going to be. And I honestly think if you have the 2 QBs going in the first 2 picks, the value is going to just become so big for the next, Could he do it? Absolutely he could. I don't think he would. I think he's going to – the Cam Newton signing was basically I'm not going to be left. He would roll with Cam. He would. I don't think that's the option.
I think you're right.
Let me say this. Ready? Hold on one second. When Brandon Cooks was signed to the Patriots back in the day, that was not for Tom Brady. That was for Jimmy Garoppolo. They were changing the offense at that point. Nelson Aguilar is not for Cam Newton. He's for Jimmy Garoppolo. That's Brandon Cooks. It's a poor man's Brandon Cooks. And Kendrick Bourne is Jimmy's homie. That's their buddy. Kendrick and Jimmy are best buddies. Jimmy is on his way in, but it's a matter of San Fran gets their quarterback. I do believe it isn't Cam, and it's always going to be Jimmy. I think when Bill looks at this draft, he's looking at the best player falling to him after the QBs. Will he entertain the thought of a QB? 100%. Only at it for the right price.
All right. I guess then I'm going to ask a question in this way. It's kind of like, when you're trying to ask your parent like a question, but they keep saying no, and you keep asking different ways. So what you're saying is you think that Trevor Lawrence is so good that he is head and shoulders above the second place quarterback, and he's going to be worth what, like championships? Is he that good, we're saying?
Yes.
All right. So if he plays in Jacksonville for a year and gets his blonde hair knocked all around in the mud, what happens after the end of the year when that's the first time that's ever happened to this kid that we don't have much of a footage on?
I think he's 240, and he's a big boy.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of players in this league, because on the defensive side, you almost have to have a lot of hybrid players now. He's bigger than most. He's bigger than linebackers.
He's special. He's special.
He's special. Have you seen his hair thing? He's like Thor.
I've seen him, but I'm not. Again, here's the thing. I think he looks like a really good quarterback. He looks like he's going to be really good, but I'm not sold that he's a superstar. I swear to God, I'm just not. Give me one. Let me see him snap, take it on the center. Let me see him do a bunch of other stuff.
That means nothing ananymore.
It does.
It means absolutely nothing anymore.
It does to me. It does to a lot of things.
I was watching him throw the scrubs.
Thing.
I was watching him throw the scrubs, and he was putting that ball right there. Boom, right there. No near the feet, no anywhere else. He was perfect. It was actually beautiful to watch.
I think on top of that, he's made to look extra better, which is in proper English, because of the other quarterbacks in this draft. I don't think they're any good either. How about that? How about I think Sam Darnold's better than anybody in the goddamn draft? That's why I think
this has been looked at for a while. They knew that there was going to be good QBs, as they already know next year there's not going to be. So they're going to be good products. Even Trevor Lance is going to be probably damn good.
Lance. Yeah.
Trevor Lance.
Trey.
Yeah. He'll be all right. I like even they're saying Mon. There's a list of Drask. I'm not a big fan of Drask, but he did well. I think that Pitts made him look good, but we'll see. I watched him. I watched a lot of Flyer this year. I think that, we'll see. The biggest question is, how does the game slow down for them when they get up to the next level? You could have so many different players. I mean, we've seen Lamar Jackson go from one quarterback to the next in the second year. Now he kind of regressed. This is a quick league.
It's definitely different now. And I'll tell you this, Brother Ray, Joe Judge, speaking as a Giants fan, Joe Judge has gone out to see specific players intentionally. He went to see Rondale Moore, wide receiver, probably like a third-round prospect, I think.
Yeah, out of Purdue.
All right.
Probably second. He might sneak into the first round.
He's a 4.2. They say he's a ridiculous. He's like a Tyreek Hill carbon copy. He's built just like him. Like Judge went to go look at him specifically.
Yeah, and keep in mind too, a lot of times these visits could be smoke screens. They could be. You may think they're checking him out, but they're actually checking out someone else they're going to get in the 5th round. But they just happen to be there anyway. I know the Dolphins had that instance. They were there in South Carolina. For J.C. Horn, who had an incredible day at defensive back. But I actually think they were looking at Israel Bukamu, another defensive back that they can convert to, strong safety. So, coaches will be at these workouts, and when they are, they're going to get the attention because automatically they're going to say, who's the top prospect for South Carolina? Well, I don't know. That's J.C. Horn. Coach Flo is looking to draft another quarterback in the 1st round. So this is when it starts now, the gamesmanship and smoke screens. You're going to try and throw off everybody and keep everybody guessing.
All right. So there's 2 things. One, did you notice how I said specifically the right way? Because if you listen to people, they usually say specifically. Like there's no S. They just start with the P.
Specifically and Atlantically?
Yeah, they'll go, that's specifically... Where's the S? So I want to make sure I nail that one. I wanted to give myself props for that one. But as far as the draft today, watching Micah Parsons was like, if you're a fan of defense, I just kept thinking, well, he could play the middle, he could play outside. He runs almost as fast as Saquon Barkley's 40, or it was close to it.
4.39.
Yeah, he's crazy, big and fast.
You say
they said he's bad at coverage. They said he's
6'3", 240.
They say he's bad at coverage because it's the skill of it, but that could be taught. Now the problem is though, again, how much is he worth this year? Like, other than a quarterback, when does he come into play? Because a lot of people want these wide receivers, Brother Ray. Matt, you know this. It's these receivers, this tight end that got people seeing stars, right?
Hey, when is it? When Bill Belichick is right there, I'm telling you, I know how he loves linebackers. He'll be the first linebacker probably taken off the board now that it's looking likely.
Belichick didn't go to the tryout. Didn't go to his
And he
thing.
wouldn't. And he wouldn't. He won't.
Only 2 coaches did in the whole league.
He's not
You know
going to you. Belichick's not going to. That's like what brother was saying. Sometimes they just throw smoke. Well,
Yeah, but you want to guess?
I never got a phone
coaches.
call. They've called my number. You know what I mean?
There's 2 coaches that went in whole NFL. Take a guess who they are. Take a blind guess. 2 coaches that would go see this kid.
The Giants, and I would probably say.
Yep, Joe Judge went to see him in person. He's a defensive player.
Maybe Gruden. I don't know.
Close. Mike Tomlin. Defense.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Tomlin and Judge went to go see him personally.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, when you have someone who's 6'3", 240, and runs a 4.39, that person's going to get picked high in the first round, regardless. I know he has some issues, you know, but if you watch the tape, he has put up the numbers. He's not just some workout warrior.
No.
He is actually produced at Penn State at a high level. So, I mean, the comp is there. I personally believe now he's slipping into that top 5 realm after a workout like that. I mean, how can you not? He has everything. If you check all the boxes for a middle linebacker or an outside linebacker, and he can play both. And versatility is the name of the game right now in the NFL. If you can get someone that you can line up, rushing the passer, in the middle, covering a tight end, covering a running back, that's your guy. That's a franchise guy. That's a 3-down player. So,
he doesn't need a position. He doesn't need a position. In other words, there's the front 4, and then he can be anybody else. Just throw him back there, give him like a number like 19, just let him run around crazy, right? Because seriously, that's how good he is. It's unbelievable.
He's good enough to start right away. Even if he's slow picking up assignments, you can still trot him out there as a rookie on 3rd down and let him rush the passer.
Oh, he'll make some great mistakes. Like he'll end up like slamming into people because he goes so fast, right? All right, let's talk about Lyman though, because again, that guy Bucky Brooks from the NFL Network. You guys are familiar with him? I'm not a huge fan of him, Bucky Brooks, but I kind of like him. You know, I'm not gonna say I don't dislike him. He had the Giants taking Gregory Rousseau at the 11 spot, and I'm going, here it is. It's coming to fruition. It's a nightmare of mine. I knew this was coming, and I feel like it's coming more and more every week. Guys, help me get out of the feeling, because I've been telling you guys since, I don't know, we started this, that the Giants, for some reason, like Gregory Rousseau. I'm not even sure I like Quiddy. Look, what the Giants did, and not to get into it completely, but I mean, let us. The Giants completely went out and got they had 2 backup guards, right? They got to draft 1 more starting guard, but 2 rotational guys. They got Solder to come back on a sweetheart deal to help out the team as a rotating tackle. Matt Pert is going to fall into hopefully right tackle, last year's rookie. You just got Galladay. You're gonna have a second tight end finally. You got John Ross. So now the offense is like, and Saquon Barkley, by the way. So it's like, Daniel, just don't mess up. And then on defense, Logan Ryan last year, and Jabril Peppers, and Leonard Williams, and Dexter Lawrence, and now Xavier McKinney finally gonna come back healthy. It's like that team is just, and even Blake Martinez, they're just finally starting to get filled with talent, right? But I can't see them taking Rousseau there, because I think that's too early. Right now, I'm convinced myself that I say either take a tackle or a cornerback and be a glutton. And I swear to you, that's what I mean. Take the best offensive lineman available so we don't have to worry about Daniel getting hit anymore. Or take another cornerback and just make our defensive backfield be so sick it's ridiculous. Brother Ray, what do you think of my rant on that?
Well, I mean, if they're going to take an offensive lineman, I mean, if Sewell or Slater were to somehow be there, they would obviously have to look at that. The reason why I don't think they're going to pick Rousseau is very simple. Rousseau's out of the University of Miami. Can you name the last high prospect they took out of the University of Miami? I can, because he plays for the Dolphins right now. Eric Flowers. Do you remember how bad that went for the Giants when they drafted Flowers out of Miami.
Jeremy Shockey.
The Giants love Michigan players. They love Big Ten. I think it's Kwity Paye because of his versatility, because he's stout against the run, and because his arrow is pointed up. He has a ton of potential. And you can put him inside. You can use him outside. He's a team captain, high character guy.
You're actually wrong, though, about the Giants with Michigan players. The Giants have actually transitioned to a lot of my University of Miami players over the last couple of years. They always throw in
one guy. Not just Michigan. They love the Big Ten. It's the quality of competition. Yeah. When you're playing in Michigan, you're playing in front of 80,000 people.
Right. The problem is right now the Giants are going to put Dexter Lawrence on one end, right, and Leonard Williams on the other. So they don't, and they get like Austin Johnson and B.J. Hill to be kind of the nose tackle. They don't need an end. Like they don't need a defensive end more as much as they need like either a defensive tackle or an edge rusher.
Rousseau's not a tackle though. Kwity can play both. Kwity can play inside and outside.
Rousseau is 6'7", 275.
But he's not sturdy enough. He's a one-trick pony. I have nothing against the kid. Trust me. I'm just looking at the tape and telling you what I see. Kwity is stout against the run.
I think Kwity has a better motor too, and I agree with that. Look, again, I'm coming from the stance where I'm not telling you that I want them to take Rousseau. I just know that they are because it's one of those things like it goes around in giant circles. It keeps popping up and all the Giants talk. It's one of those things, and it's been happening since it started, just like Daniel Jones last year. I knew that was.
I saw 3 giant articles with them taking Kwity Paye in the mock draft. I saw something from the actual Giants website talking about Kwity Paye.
Oh, they do talk about. Well, they broke down all the defensive ends, but we love Kwity Paye as an organization. We love his motor. We love. They said they love the kid's personality, but that doesn't mean that. Like I said, I keep hearing what's his face's name. The other name that I kept hearing was oh boy,
Barmore.
No, not the that's the defensive tackle, the big one.
Alabama, yeah.
Yeah, they were saying that you can't justify this year taking a defensive tackle that early. Like he'll be there. He probably will be there later in the teens, right? I think he will.
You look at the interior defensive linemen that have gone from Alabama, they usually go top 10, and they're usually pretty good.
So, all right. I don't know. I can't look. You know what it is? This draft is so ruled by quarterbacks and tight ends. That's literally all that's like. I mean, I'm not sorry. Did I say tight ends?
Well,
wide receivers.
Wide receivers, yeah.
They seem like it's like them and then everybody else. Is it that way to you too? Does it seem like they're the ones that are the stars of this year's draft for some reason? Quarterbacks, wide receivers, and then tight end. Don't forget Pitts. He's with the wide receivers. But then there's everybody else.
Right? Yeah, I agree with that. And I don't think, I mean, the wide receivers, I think Chase is the real deal. I think Waddle is intriguing. Smith is strong, but I can name other wide receiving classes that I thought were stronger. It's just the way the draft is set up this year. They happen to be a really strong part, especially those players.
We're going to get a lot, Matt. We're going to get a lot of late round gems this year. Would you agree? More so than ever before?
Well, I mean, basically the draft every year is pretty much like, the top 40 players really. And then you're going to see a few in the third round and then the late round gems. But yeah, I like this draft class, but we'll see. Every year it's about the same. I think you got the top 9.
I think this year there's a lot more unknown, dude. I think this year there's a lot of guys we know nothing about.
Yeah, because the footage isn't out there. They haven't been playing. There's going to be people that there's not much footage on. So, yeah.
If they skip the year, think about a kid when he skips a year. That one year, he's a man the next year. Like, you know what I mean? He can show up another 20 pounds extra. He's faster. He's a completely different guy than you saw play as a junior. Like, you know what I mean? That happens because they're kids.
Now, you know who that benefits? It benefits the scouts that really look deep, and there's not many out there. So I think it honestly is going to benefit the Patriots. Bill's always a hawk. You know, I think that you're going to see exactly like you said, these people that probably no footage on, but Bill's got their 8th grade, you know, when they did the flea flicker or whatever. And he's like, he's got the secret footage.
Some
Seems like
teams do have, I agree, they do have better scouting as far as the small schools. Brother Ray, which one's your favorite? Because I know you can name a couple scouts teams that have the best scouting as far as small schools.
Well, I mean, the ones I like the best are not so much small school, but if you have to put the Patriots in that category because, I mean, you look at Edelman, you can go up and down the list of players that he's taken from those small schools. I mean, Jimmy G came from a small school, so and then you have teams like the Ravens and the Steelers.
There it is, the Ravens. That's the one that always pops in my head when I think about that. They're the ones that they find gems, it seems, all the time, the Ravens.
And I think the factor with all those teams, and I think what they do best is they draft players that fit perfectly their schemes. They do not take if you know they have a linebacker and they say that linebacker is 6'3", 230. Or some teams he's 6'4", 240. That's it. And then they look for traits. They look for leadership ability. They look for, can they cover the backs coming out of the backfield? They look for certain traits in these players, and it's like widgets. They just put the widget in, take someone out, that person leaves free agency. They draft another one in the 4th round, takes right over. They don't miss a beat. That's what those teams that you mentioned do well, and they do it really good at the small schools.
All right. So let's discuss Mr. Jackson, the Giants' new signee, Brother Ray. I want you to kind of give me more of a breakdown of this kid because I'm willing to bet that you scouted him. He's still fresh in your mind. I heard he's blazingly fast. I'm trying to figure out why they cut him. Like what the official reasons why the Titans just let him go, because he seems to be the minute he was released, it seemed like everybody wanted to at least talk to him. So what's the deal with Adoree Jackson?
I mean, what I liked about Jackson coming out was he was a playmaker. He was a ball hawk at USC. He was a great special teams player. I mean, return kicks, kickoffs, and punts. So he was really good with the ball in his hands. He was a playmaker. Wasn't just a cover guy that could tackle. He was a playmaker. So I think he went to Tennessee. Again, defensive-minded coach there in Vrabel. And, with that Belichick system, they ask their corners to do certain things. And a lot of it is not glamorous. So, you got to set the edge. You're going to get your ass kicked, but you got to set the edge and make sure that running back's going inside. I don't think that meshed with his personality because I see him as more of a kind of running gun playmaker style, like a real pirate in the backfield, a swashbuckler. Now Judge, again, he's smart. He knows how you've seen already. He knows how to put players in the right position.
Peppers McKinney
does the same thing. I think he's going to take advantage of what Jackson does best. And I don't think that was the case in Tennessee.
So what type of steal is this for the Giants as far as free agency is concerned? It's like a B? It's like a B, right? It's going to be. He's a starting cornerback. Like he's already our number 2. He walks in, and now we have a number 2.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it's really, is he going to perform? I mean, he's probably better in man than zone. But again, I think he has the skills right away, and he has the playmaking ability. So it's kind of like a twofer. Because if you can put him back there and return kicks, and he can make a difference in a ball game.
So twofer. I'll flip it to the offense, and I'll say to Matt, how good was the signing of Golladay?
I love it. I mean,
is he a 50-50 guy though? Am I getting a great receiver? Like, no. I mean, does he do just one thing, or can he do everything? What's going on here?
I think that this year was the year we were all expecting to absolutely open up. And of course, then the injuries happened. I think he is that receiver. I would really like to see it before I say it. I haven't seen it yet. I do think he's capable of that. There are a lot of people around the league were saying he's a one-trick pony. I don't believe that. I think he's a big body, big frame. I don't really see a lot of outside receivers with the mold that he has. I've seen him be fantastic over the years. He's also had Matt Stafford to throw him the ball. I like Kenny Golladay. I think Kenny Golladay is a win. I think it's a great move for the Giants. I know he's going to be eager to prove himself. So I think it's a A+ signing, because if you can add a player of his caliber in free agency, not have to trade, they just absolutely change the dynamic of their offense and their team. And players on the defense have to respect him on the outside and at least roll coverage. So, and now you got Saquon. That's going to free up so much space for so many people. And like I think I said a few weeks ago, I think this really helps Evan Ingram. When I see a case of the drops, I think players thinking too much. So I think that he's going to be a little bit less pressure on him.
Well, King, so Golladay goes deep. Is that what we're saying? Like he can go deep.
They say he's a kind of one-trick pony, he's a deep player, but I don't see him as that. And you know what? If that's the case, fine. Call him that.
If that's the case, like Brother Ray, if that's the case, Slayton goes deep, Ingram goes deep, right? Like they're all going to go. And what's his face? The other guy that we just signed, Ross. He goes deep. Yeah. So like what happens if one of those guys gets behind one of the guys? Like, you know what I mean? If they all go deep and they're all that fast, Daniel throws a nice deep ball. I'll tell you that much.
Nice. Yeah. And Galladay's he's your classic X. He's your classic X receiver. He's your number one. He's 6'4". He doesn't have the blazing speed, but he doesn't have to have the blazing speed. He's got the 50-50 skills. He's got reliable hands. He can run every route on the route tree. So he can do basically everything that you need. And he, in my opinion, is their first number one wide receiver that they've had since Plaxico Burress. Yeah. I know we can mention Beckham, but Beckham, he can't do every route in the route tree. Not like this guy. And I think they got a bargain because he was hurt last year. The first year he really had injury concerns. So saying he's has injury concerns and I think that was a mistake. He had 1 year.
Too early to call him injury prone. It's too early to call him.
No, he's a number one receiver. There were a lot of teams that were trying to get him, so that usually tells you if he's a good player or not. He wouldn't have had the interest that he did. I know Chicago wanted him really badly, but they're just so sad that there was no way he was going to consider going there. I think it was a great get for the Giants.
Let me ask you this then. I'll throw it back at you. What do you think of Will Fuller? What do you think? How do you grade the Dolphins signing of that? Because I think the Dolphins did pretty good for themselves too. I mean, the Dolphins remind me of the Giants, oddly enough, in the sense of like the way that they're like building this like strong defense. Everybody's at the ball, like just old school team style. You know what I mean? But so what do you think of Will Fuller? I'm not 100% convinced in him, but I think that's a great upgrade.
Yeah, he's an A signing. I actually wanted Fuller over Golladay because we already have someone that is very similar to Golladay and Devontae Parker. They're tall receivers. They kind of do the same thing. They're the true number one. Fuller is that elite number two that you're going to let him run the 9 route. You're going to send him down the seam so that everybody has to respect that speed. Now, he is injury prone. Let's be honest. Yeah. But if you look at it, it's a 1-year deal. They didn't lock him up for 4 years. They didn't, throw a lot of signing bonus at him. So there's not a lot of money locked up as far as long term. And if he pops, they could look to, franchise him or sign him to a longer term deal. I think that is just as important as the talent of the player, and his talent is immense when he's healthy.
Agreed. All right. So, as we've been doing for the last couple of shows, I got the mock drafting simulator up. Ray, do you have something you want to talk about, or you want to save it for the next show? What do you want to do?
Yeah, I'll save it for Sunday. I want to talk about a couple of running backs. There are 2 running backs from North Carolina.
Yep,
that I've been doing a lot of work on. Javonte Williams and Michael Carter. It's rare to have 2 running backs from the same team and in the same class that I think are are really going to make a difference in the NFL, and they're probably going to be second round picks. So, but I'll review those guys on Sunday, and we can look at
What was the last team that had that? It was Cadillac Williams
and Ronnie Brown. Yeah, Cadillac and Ronnie.
Brown. That's right, Ronnie Brown. Auburn.
Yeah, Auburn had that great backfield back then.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So before we do this, first I want to mention that this is coming from the website www.legitfantasysports.com. I think every time I say it, I'm amazed at the fact that name was available way back when, and we took it. But we did, and wanted to just really quickly plug. The basketball show is on after this show from 8 to 9. That leads us into Sunday's show. Sunday morning show at 11. Football again from 11 to 12. And then Sunday night, Legit Paranormal from 7 to 8. We have, I'm sorry if I'm missing his first name, another demonologist. His actual name is, hold on one second, it is James Anito. So that's been a great show for us.
What does he need?
What does he need?
Yeah, James Anito. What does he need? What is it?
Yeah. It took me a second for that joke to kick in. I was like, huh?
Yeah, I'm pretty lame. Whatever. I'm not a funny guy.
Brother Ray, here we go. 3 rounds of the Dolphins. We'll put them on the board. And by the way, they take into effect any free agency that's happened. So we'll be good. All right, Brother Ray, here we go.
All right, I'm gonna.
You're on the clock.
I'm gonna shake things up. The Dolphins haven't drafted a linebacker in the first round, I believe, in over 20 years. So I'm gonna go with Micah Parsons here.
Wow. Dang, the Dolphins at 3 take Micah Parsons. Now, when's their next first round pick?
17 or 18, I believe.
All right. Let's see what's left on the board here. Here we go. You're on the clock, Ray.
You know what? They were there looking at J.C. Horn.
Rondale Moore is bumped up to 17th overall?
Yeah, no, he's starting to climb.
You think?
Starting to climb. I'd have to say there because it looks like I would probably have to take Etienne there.
Who?
Travis Etienne.
He's a running back.
Clemson.
Oh, wow. All right.
Very good
running back. The Dolphins, who did you sign this?
He's a good running back.
Who did they sign last year? I mean, this offseason.
Mac Jones. Mac.
I know you're talking about.
Yeah, from the Rams.
The Rams.
Yeah, he's a backup.
Malcolm Brown. Yep.
I had him on my team. All right. Hey, by the way, The Undertaker announced it today officially that Kane has made it into the WWE Hall of Fame and will be inducted before this year's WrestleMania in a month. So Kane is now a Hall of Famer. Ray, here we go. You're on the clock, second round.
Wow, I can't even believe this guy's available. So I probably would have waited and took someone. I probably would have changed my first round pick if I knew Zaven Collins would still be available here.
Boom. 2 linebackers, and just like that.
I mean, that's crazy. That's wow.
Does this change the team right here? 2 linebackers like this and a running back. You're on the clock.
I'm on the clock. I'd probably have to go with.
Oh, you should go with Dylan Moses and just call it a day at the linebacker position.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to go with Tulea from USC defensive line. They need someone that can rush the passer.
Look at that draft class.
Well, they have multiple picks, so
how could you not be happy with that, though?
Yeah, I don't see Zaven Collins falling like that, though. I don't.
Yeah,
see
but hey, this thing is not just willy nilly. It goes based on like what's in demand or what's been at least mocked by all the different it takes all the different different websites mocks drafts and puts them together. All right, you're on the clock one more time.
All right, go down a little bit more on the players on the right so I can see.
All right, but both your running backs from North Carolina are there, by the way.
I mean, if I knew they were both probably going to be there, I probably wouldn't have taken one earlier. I probably have to go. I'll probably have to go safety.
I was going to say that Talanoa Hufanga, if you go from USC, is solid.
Yeah, that I was kind of looking at him. It was either him or the kid from FSU. So let's go with him.
I would definitely be jealous of that draft class. 2 kids from USC, 2 linebackers that should be stars, and I'll be honest, I don't know much about the running back position this year, but I'm doing that on purpose because I want to learn it all at once.
Etienne's a stud. He's a stud.
Very good. Yes, he is.
All right, I think that's their last. Was that their last pick in the 3rd round?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm gonna go back and set this for Matt and his New England Patriots.
Let's do it.
Matt Jones.
Where are they? Where are they? Come on. Look at the Washington thing. Sucks, that logo. I love pissing on the Eagles and the Redskins. I hate those teams. I love pissing on them. Such jokes of teams. And I love when they stink. I don't know why I love their misery. It's an evil part of me, and I shouldn't like it. But
Washington's going to be a good team, King.
I know, but so are we. All right, here you go, Matty.
All right, go down a little
I hear
bit.
that from everybody, Brother Ray. But
Okay.
Wait, hold on. You're not up yet. I'll tell you. Well, look, the Giants took Quiddy Pay, Ray.
I'm telling you.
All right, Matt, you are on the clock at number 15.
All right, okay. Oh boy! Wow, Mac Jones is there at 26.
Yep.
I'm telling you, I don't think that's going to happen. But if he's there,
Well, he's there for 15, I bet you. There's a good chance, right? He gets bumped to 15.
Wow, they got the Philadelphia Eagles taking Fields. Whatever. All right.
I've seen a lot of things saying the Eagles take Fields, by the way.
I'll tell you right now. If it falls the way it is, they're taking J.C. Horn from South Carolina.
All right.
That's what they would do with this pick right here.
It would be a smart move. You know what I mean? You lock down corners.
he ran a 4.3740 at his workout. By the way, 6'1", 205. NFL bloodlines. His dad.
That's Joe Horn, yeah.
Yeah, that's Joe Horn. Yep, I seen him. He muckles them. He knocks a lot of balls out. He's very physical. I like him a lot. I looked him. He's definitely, like you said, Brother Ray. Once they got that bloodline in there, they want to live up to their dad or surpass him. You know,
Yeah.
they got competitions in their blood.
Joe Horn used to kill the Giants. Every game he played us.
Wasn't he a great?
Great.
Okay.
You're on the clock.
I'm on the clock right here. If this is the case, they're taking Zaven Collins.
Oh, well, yeah. Oh, definitely.
Without a doubt.
Boom. Now, would you be happy with the first 2 picks so far if you're a Pats fan?
Listen, I'm telling you right now, if that was the way it fell, that's who they're taking, only because he goes defense first. He wants to make sure you can't score. That's how he wins. He wants to make the best defense, mud up all the holes. That right there, you almost got 2 starters. Both of them start day 1. Don't even wonder what they're up to. They got it locked down.
All right, here comes your round 3. Let's see what 3 makes a difference. I don't even know when they pick in the 3rd round, how far down they are. With the Giants, I'm so used to them always being near the top of the goddamn round. Nope, there you go. You are on the clock.
You know what?
All the quarterbacks gone.
I could actually go to QB if you want. Boom, that's your left.
Oh, you got Kellen Mond right there.
Yeah.
I tell you, this could be the spot where they go, and they got a lot of picks coming in the third round. So I think that they would take a shot on Kellen Mond. But go back real quick, because I know that
This kid's a beast. Ray took him.
yeah, but they don't need a safety. They feel good enough. I think that's why Patrick Chung called it a day. He came back. They were like, we're going to trade you. Kyle Duggar's got your spot. Now your only valuable to us is through trade. And he was like, see you later. So I don't think that they would pull in even though he's probably the best player on the board, I think that they would go another route. And I think that would be probably Mon. I would say Mon. I'd say we'd go with Mon.
Yep. Mond would be great there for them.
Where is he? Who?
Kellen Mond.
Kellen Mond. He's not on that list right there, Mike, but if you go to quarterback.
All right, that's what we had.
And I think he's going to be, he's not going to go later than the third round. I don't think Mond. Not this year.
He'd be already gone. He'd be gone by that time, I think. That's
all right. So Matt, you end up with those three guys.
That's essentially what you want. If you're a Patriots fan, you got the QB in the wings, learning from whoever. And I do think that Belichick, like I've said it before, one of his greatest things is he coaches up QBs, whether or not they're,
Mond had a great year, guys. He had a fantastic year.
Yeah, he's actually moving up. He's moving up the board too. I don't expect him to be there borderline fourth round, but could be a crazy draft.
Let's close this out with quickly. The G-men. We're on the clock at 11. Let's look at the board. I would say we would take Micah Parsons. That's who I would want to take.
I agree.
He would be one of the greatest Giants. He would fit in perfectly. Bang. You put him in there with Xavier McKinney and Peppers and these guys that can all play different positions and whatnot. The Giants are going to be a freakish defense. I would be happy with just that. Let's see. Next, we need an interior lineman on offense. That's what the Giants need, or defense. But I prefer actually offense, an interior stud like on the inside. You know how they don't rank guards really high, but then you can get a guard in the second round, and he's like a first-round talent.
Trey Smith's sitting there.
Yeah, Trey Smith, Tennessee. Anybody else good? Because Xavier Collins would be great.
Mayfield's a couple of steps down from Michigan.
But Ray, Xavier Collins right there, going with Mike Parsons to the Giants.
Yeah, you could do the same thing I did.
Oh, that would be so nasty. Like that defense with him there too. But no, they're gonna go Trey Smith and keep Daniel Jones off his goddamn back.
That's important.
Collins, by the way, is the best thumper in this draft.
I agree. He
kills people at 260 pounds.
Got a block though. Got a block. The Giants. It's been their problem for like 19 years.
And every year. It was really bad last year. It was really, really bad last year.
Just got a block. Like it makes me so mad. All right, here we go. Third round. See, this is where the third round to me is the one that I wonder about the most because it really is going to completely depend on the first two. Like, I don't know what they need the most to do it twice, meaning like the second defender and the second offensive player.
I see Amon-Ra there from USC. I think he's going to be a special player at the next level.
You think so?
Yeah.
Because they need they definitely could use a wide receiver. That's who's left right there.
I also saw Michael Carter.
This dude right here, another guy, Sage Surratt, that I like. Yep. All right, but yeah. Also, though, see these guys right here? Right, this is a starter from day one. The Giants had a problem at offensive at center, right? They had to make what's his name? A center was his first year. He didn't play center before. It's like Gates. We just made him a center. You have a guy like this come in, he might be the starting center day one, and like that makes it so much easier. You know what I mean? But I agree with you. The Giants, I'm going to disagree with you really quickly because right above them is what? Boom, two big defensive linemen. And what do we need most next is somebody big to replace Dalvin Tomlinson. Ray, which of these two defensive linemen, even Darius Stills, remind you the most of Dalvin Tomlinson? Because that's what we need, a big, gigantic nose tackle.
You probably would want to take McNeil then if you're looking for someone who's just gonna plug it up, take 2 blockers and call it a day.
Exactly. That's what made Leonard Williams so good. So McNeil is he the kind of type of kid you think that could come in and start day one at defensive tackle?
He's not special, but he ties up 2 blockers very well. So
boom,
that's what you're looking for.
Boom. That is because you got Micah Parsons and you want to free him up too. You know what I mean? You need that guy in the middle. That's so. Some teams don't get that. You need that guy in the middle that can take up extra guys because you want your playmakers to be able to move. I think that's it. The Giants won't have another pick in that round. Tell you what, the Giants get this. We address both sides of the ball where we're weak at guard and at defensive tackle in the 3rd round, and get maybe one of the most special players in the whole draft in the 1st round of Micah Parsons. And now we turn our defense into like a true force. So I think either way, Giants win. I think each draft we did, all 3 of us, if we did that for our prospective teams,
love it.
They would love us, right? Those are 3 great drafts. Wouldn't you agree? Mm-hmm. We all drafted really, really well. All right, you guys got anything you want to say before we cut it loose? We're gonna hit the 1 hour mark, and it is going to be time for the basketball show.
Don't be too proud. Give up the plastics. It's not worth your life,
brother. Right?
Yeah, just you know what? Just make sure you're living the life. You know, I'm just gonna make sure you're living the life, Master Damas. You know,
not about that. You're not about that life.
Yep.
This game is serious.
Life is serious. That's why you should always tune in to www.legitfantasysports.com. Check us out on Twitter, on the Instagram. Check us. Our YouTube channel is killing it right now. Every video, the last, I don't know how many videos, all been in between 20 to 80 views. That might not sound like a lot to use, but to us, that is great news. So for me, Mike Lepre, Legit Fantasy Football from legitfantasysports.com. Thank you guys for your continued support, that you keep watching. Stay tuned for basketball with Coach TJ, and we are